Right, into number 2. This is potentially, a bit of a contentious shout, but this is why I've put Rodri of Manchester City. I think that this season's been a bit of a game changer for him, and he's finally ascended into this kind of new echelon. And I'm pretty much ready to call Rodri a world-class player. I think a couple of things have basically clicked for him this season. I think he might have just finally 100% got used to the speed of the Premier League, and it's something he definitely did. It's a bit cliche, but like he definitely did struggle with it a little bit to start with. There are a couple of stray passes here and there, maybe 1 or 2 sloppy balls per game that had the crowd kind of groaning a little bit. He's cut those out completely. I think he's also gained a lot of confidence from the fact that he is now top dog at Man City. You know, he came in as Fernandinho's understudy. He has long surpassed Fernandinho now, who's mid-30s and basically getting towards the end of his career. And Rodri's the alpha in that midfield. And I think it's just given him a bit of a boost. Like he's got a bit more of an edge, more confidence, and he's playing like he knows it's his spot and it's his midfield. And you watched City recently, man, and it really is his midfield. When Rodri's on the pitch, he's in charge. And we always talk about how Manchester City is so good at trapping teams into their own third. And that's because someone like Rodri can patrol and sweep across the midfield and cut out all of those out balls that go to strikers and prevent teams from getting out of their own half by anticipating different movements and passes and cutting them out and then recycling it. You know, his role is basically intercept, pass to Cancelo, intercept, pass to Cancelo. He scored the odd screamer, obviously, but it sounds simple, but it's really, really not. It's the bread and butter of the best number 6s. And Rodri is here. And I also think he's more or less the ideal sort of 2022 holding midfielder in terms of his somatotype. You know, he's 6'3", he's relatively mobile, but he's definitely strong, and he's stocky, and he's authoritative. He has also learned how to get away with one too many yellow card challenges and not be punished for it. Of course, he spent the last 3 years training with Fernandinho, so I'm not surprised. But all of this makes up basically the perfect number 6 for today's game. And Rodri, I think this season, the leap he has taken has just astounded me. I'm so impressed.
The comfort with which he has, developed into a role where, we talk about Kimmich and we talk about playing with box-to-box number 8s and in the likes of Goretzka. Rodri just sits behind a front 5 on his own. In fact, it's often a front 7 because both wing backs have decided that they're going to go flying forward into the attack as well. He just sits there and mops up. And that's the kind of, I don't know, maybe the traditional image of the number 6, right? Someone who is able to sit there and mop up the danger and just kind of be on the edge. But Rodri also just occasionally unleashes a 30-yard howitzer. And you're a bit like, hang on, where's that come from? Like, that wasn't part of the rules. And I do think that, over the course of the last 3 years, we've seen that development. When he signed for Man City, I thought he had the potential to go on and be one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. But not everyone makes that leap. Not every signing works. Not every player takes a jump to the Premier League and is able to step up. Rodri has stepped up so far in these last couple of years. I think it's perfectly reasonable that you've put him into this place of the list.
Yeah, football seasons are so long that it feels totally normal to be considering Rodri as a world-class holding midfielder, one of the best in the world, an undroppable piece of Manchester City's brilliant template. He didn't start the Champions League final last season. Yeah, but played Gundogan there instead.
That's been widely considered a mistake.
Of course, but this is you. Now I know Pep is Pep, but you would not dream of not playing Rodri in the Champions League final this season if they make it, right? And that's the progression. That's the leap. That's the difference. Rodri has come on so far in the last 7 or 8 months. It's just sometimes you have to remember exactly where he was at that point because it feels like so long ago. And it kind of was, but it wasn't always the way. This wasn't always the case with Rodri. He wasn't always just like this pivotal player in midfield, the spine of the team, the undroppable piece.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I would agree with all of the bits above, which takes us on, Sam, to number 1.
To number 1, I think the best number 6 in the world is Fabinho of Liverpool. I think he's the best. He's really got to this point now. He is the complete package. He is absolutely everything. I just can't really pick a fault in his game, no matter how hard I try. He is, first of all, the complete physical package. He's about 6'2". He's got great agility and mobility. He beats Rodri in terms of mobility and agility. Great coverage of the pitch. Extremely tactically disciplined. Extremely clever. Another one who's come from right back, just for the notes there, Jack.
Yeah, another
one from right back. But he does a much better job here than your likes of Rodri and your likes of Casemiro in that weird avoidance of yellow cards. He actually just doesn't really foul that many people, and he doesn't walk the tightrope in the way that those others do. On the ball, I think he's underrated in terms of his press resistance. I think he's underrated in terms of his long-range passing, because Van Dijk steals the show, and that's fair enough, but Fabinho can do it too. There's a touch of sloppiness sometimes in the short game, but again, no one's actually perfect. Underrated vision, though. I don't think enough people realise how good he is at passing long. But the biggest compliment I think I can pay Fabinho is sometimes I swear there's 2 or 3 of him on the pitch. Like, how is he teleporting from one part to the other? There was a game earlier this season against Leeds where I was adamant that there was more than one Fabinho. They'd cloned him. Like, his ability to read the game and anticipate is nothing short of sensational. And the real kicker here, in terms of me putting it number 1, was I tried to think of a team, a manager, a system, and a league that he wouldn't just slot in and immediately excel for. And I came up with nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are certain players on this list who are a bit more specific, and that's okay. But Fabinho, I think, could just play anywhere, for anyone, and be the best. I think that's a hell of a thing.